Hey, Charles Hoffman here from Plugin Alliance. Highflyer is a new multi-effect plugin from Cut Classic. It includes a Resampler, Preamp section, phaser, dimension expander, a Retroize module for vintage tones, and a candy section that's similar to a harmonic exciter. One of the plugin's most unique features is the Shepard tone modulation, which creates an endless rising or falling effect. Think of Highflyer as a supercharged phaser with lo-fi flavor. It sounds great on electric guitars, Rhodes, synths, and background vocals. To demo Cut Classic's Highflyer, start a free Mega Plan trial using the link below. This will give you access to all of Plugin Alliance's products for 30 days. I want to start things off by saying you don't need to know what you're doing to use this plugin. Since it's a creative effect, you'll get cool sounds pretty quick just by turning knobs or flipping through presets. If you have a sound that you want to add flavor, character, or movement to, Highflyer will give you that. That said, becoming familiar with the plugin will help you dial in your sounds faster. To start, we'll go straight into the advanced section. These are the full sets of controls for each module: Degrade, Phase, Enhance. These knobs are mapped to certain parameters within each subsection. The Degrade module has a Resampler section and Preamp section. When set to Vintage DSK, this module emulates a famous 8-bit sampler from the mid-1980s. When set to -12 semitone, the sound is sampled at twice the speed and then pitched back down. Set to root, the sound is sampled at its default speed and pitch. The input knob is interesting in that low input values lead to low bit artifacts. It can sound like a really dirty gate. High input values lead to compression and saturation. If you slam the input, you can mix in the dry signal to apply parallel processing and bring back some clarity. At low input levels, when you're getting that gated effect, you can engage the tight switch to make the cutoff a little more tidy. In decimate mode, digital sample rate reduction with intentional aliasing artifacts is applied. Amount controls the amount of sample rate reduction. Turning up the drive in the preamp section will introduce transformer saturation to your sound. You can rebalance the level using the trim control. The thick switch adds additional low-end saturation, giving more weight to low-frequency content. The mix knob is a dry-wet control linked to the preamp knob. With classic phase mode enabled, you have access to an assortment of phaser controls. Mix is a dry-wet control. Turning up the feedback increases the amount of resonance. You can choose between slow, fast, or sync rate modes. With slow selected, the rate knob's range is from 0.03 to 0.3 Hz. With fast, it's 0.3 to 20 Hz. In sync mode, you can choose different note values. Phasers use all-pass filters chained together to add notches to the signal and create that characteristic phaser effect. Each all-pass filter is referred to as a stage. Turning up the stages knob increases the number of all-pass filters used to process the sound. Low values will give you the sound of classic analog pedals, while high values lead to 90s-style digital effects. The center knob adjusts the center frequency of the phaser. If I run a pulse wave through Highflyer and pull up a spectrum analyzer, you can see the notches in the signal moving up and down the frequency spectrum. The center knob offsets the position of this series of notch filters. Drive saturates the signal running through the phaser. And LR offset offsets the phase of the modulation for the left and right channels. The endless phaser mode is Highflyer's most unique feature. It applies Shepard tone modulation, creating an endless rising or falling effect. A Shepard tone is an illusion that creates the impression of a note that's continuously rising or falling in pitch. This is done by layering multiple tones together and adjusting their volume envelope. As one tone dies out, another takes its place, which tricks your ears into hearing a never-ending pitch shift. That concept has been applied to this phaser, and you can see the endless modulation on a spectrum analyzer. In the Enhance section, there's an Expand module. The Dimension knob creates a dimension expander effect that's fully mono-compatible. You can use it to stereoize mono sounds or add extra width to sounds already in stereo. The space knob creates the perception of a tight, modulated space, similar to an early reflections parameter found on a reverb. Size is a time multiplier that affects the dimension and space knobs. Low values create tight modulation, and high values lead to more spacious effects. The Retroize amount knob recreates the complex interaction of resonant frequencies, getting limited in sought-after vintage equipment. Tone adjusts the center frequencies of the resonance added by the Retroize effect. The candy amount applies parallel high-frequency sheen and stereo width, similar to a harmonic exciter. Range changes the frequency range affected by the candy effect, targeting mids or highs. The Enhance knob acts as a dry-wet control for all three modules in the Enhance section, while Retroize is tied to the Retroize amount. HiFlyer has some hidden features. You can change the color of the LED display if you click on it, and clicking on the sticker causes fun little messages to display on the LED screen. Up top, there's a library of presets to choose from. You can quickly toggle between presets using these arrows. There's an option to save presets and open the presets folder to manage preset files. The question mark displays tooltips, which is helpful when getting started. Auto gain matches the master output level to the plugin's input volume. There's a built-in limiter to prevent clipping. HQ enables oversampling to reduce aliasing. And there's also an option to scale the size of the user interface. To demo Cut Classics HiFlyer, start a free Mega Plan trial using the link below. This will give you access to all of Plugin Alliance's products for 30 days. If this video helped you out, give it a like and subscribe to the Plugin Alliance YouTube channel for more plugin walkthroughs like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.